All right, let's dive into this. Our source material puts forward a pretty wild idea that there's a secret history hidden in plain sight, a story that's woven into our most ancient symbols. And it all begins and ends with one creature, the serpent.
So, right off the bat, our source text throws his question at us. Think about it. The serpent shows up in pretty much every ancient civilization, but its meaning is totally split down the middle. Is it a hero or a villain? A liberator or a tempter? The answer, it suggests, might just be one of history's biggest cover-ups. I mean, from the uraeus on the pharaoh's crown in Egypt to the feathered serpent Quetzalcoatl in Mesoamerica, its presence is a truly global phenomenon. Now, the source argues this is no coincidence. It points to a single, powerful origin story that has been deliberately twisted, lost, or suppressed over the centuries. Okay, so let's get into the first big secret our source claims was hidden, and that's the idea that the serpent was once universally seen as a symbol of divine wisdom, a sacred meaning that was intentionally and systematically erased from history. Now, this is a really crucial distinction we have to make right from the start. Our ancestors, they saw the physical snake, the reptile slithering on the ground, but what they revered was the metaphysical serpent, this grand concept representing divine knowledge, immortality, and even cosmic power. And this is where it gets really fascinating. The source text starts connecting the dots, tracing the root word for snake across cultures that seem totally disconnected. As you can see here, it links the Mayan Can to the Sumerian Akan. But then, get this, it suggests it's hiding in plain sight in the name of the Vatican, from Vadis, meaning prophet, and Can for snake. The prophecy of the snake. Wow. The source pinpoints a major turning point in history with the rise of Orthodox Christianity. It shows this stark contrast between the Gnostic Ophites, an early mystical Christian sect who literally worshipped the serpent as the hero who brought knowledge to humanity, and the mainstream view that would eventually demonize it as the ultimate symbol of evil. A complete flip. And this was their most sacred ritual. Our source presents it as a kind of precursor to the Christian Eucharist, but instead of a priest, a live serpent was the divine mediator. It would literally consecrate the bread and wine by coiling around it, and people would kiss it before they partook. Just incredible to think about. So, you have to wonder, right, if this ancient serpent knowledge was suppressed, where did it all go? Well, the claim here is that it wasn't destroyed, it was encoded, hidden in plain sight all around us, in the patterns of the stars, in universal symbols, and baked into the very stones of our most ancient monuments. Just look up at the sky. Ancient astronomers, they weren't just seeing random dots of light. They saw this epic celestial drama playing out. And in that story, the serpent wasn't the bad guy. It was a central, powerful figure. You have the serpent bearer, you have a serpent guarding sacred objects. The winding paths of the planets themselves were seen as serpent. Then the source deconstructs one of history's most famous symbols, the Egyptian Ankh. The idea is that it's not just one shape, but a combination. You've got the Tau cross, representing the earthly elements, and you combine that with the circle, representing the sun and the eternal serpent. Put them together and boom, you get the key to life itself.
And this thinking extends to massive architecture. So the Great Pyramid, maybe not just a tomb. The Egyptians themselves called the place Rostau, which means gateway. And ancient round towers? Forget lookouts. The theory is they were sophisticated antennas, built on energy lines near water to channel these unseen energies the source calls serpent waves. So this is the crucial point. What energy were these incredible structures designed to tune into? This right here brings us to what is easily the source's most profound and, frankly, startling claim. According to acoustic engineers and researchers cited in the text, there is a single, fundamental harmonic frequency that resonates throughout our world. It's a universal note that connects everything, and that note is F sharp. Now just let that sink in for a second. This is absolutely staggering. The idea being presented is that ancient builders somehow knew the fundamental frequency of our planet and even our own biology, and then built these massive monuments tuned specifically to match it. That implies a level of scientific and spiritual knowledge we've completely forgotten.
The ancient philosopher Pythagoras might have understood this on some deep intuitive level. His famous quote, "Stone is frozen music," suddenly doesn't sound so poetic, does it? It sounds like a scientific statement. It suggests he knew that the math behind the cosmos and the math behind physical structures were telling the exact same harmonious story.
So this leads us to the ultimate question posed by all this material. What does this universal frequency, this frozen music, have to do with us, right here, right now. Well, the source suggests that our own bodies are basically biological machines, perfectly designed to receive this cosmic information. Our vertical spine, specifically, is believed to act like a primary antenna, just soaking up these universal signals.
And this is why ancient practices like meditation and shamanism suddenly make sense in a whole new way. They weren't just abstract spiritual disciplines. The source frames them as practical, physical techniques for tuning our internal receiver to the universe's broadcast. It reframes mindfulness, not just as a way to relax, but as a technology for perception.
Even the pentagram, a symbol that has a pretty dark reputation today, right? Originally, it was a sacred symbol of protection. The Sumerians called it ub, which is a word that meant both a corner or cavity and, fascinatingly, also snake, directly linking it to the serpent as the guardian of the gateway to your own inner consciousness.
And so we come all the way back around to Pythagoras, because his insight really does tie this all together. The sacred serpent, the symbols in the stars, the tuned architecture, the universal frequency, it all points back to this one central beautiful idea. The universe is a symphony, and everything in it, including us, is an instrument.
In the end, the source leaves us with this final, really thought-provoking question. It suggests that maybe the greatest ancient secret isn't buried in a pyramid or a lost text. Maybe it's a forgotten potential, a silent frequency just lying dormant, waiting to be heard, inside every single one of us.